Violence is never a welcome thing in our world. And when we see it, it is truly shocking that that young man chose to shoot at Donald Trump on Saturday. And I am here to unpack for you the Bazi Chinese astrology of that day and how it spoke to Donald Trump's chart, and why I believe he's still alive and still kicking, still rallying on, fight the fight that he's fighting. So this is what we're going to do today. Hi, my name is Lydia. This is the Feng Shui and Bazi Chinese Astrology channel. So welcome. If this is something that's of interest to you, please subscribe, like, and hit the bell so you don't miss a single video. I have a lot to put out this week, and I just got an update on RFK, Bobby Kennedy Jr.'s birth time. So am working on redoing his chart and creating a new video, and that will be coming out this week. Lots is coming out. The energy is rising, my friends. I saw this coming. This election is going to be like none other that we've experienced, at least not in my lifetime. So here it is. July 13th, 2024, around 6 o'clock in the evening, Donald Trump had an assassination attempt. And it is, in all of the violence that we see in the United States, as much as we look at the victims, like the husband that died shielding his wife and daughter, these are horrible, horrible things happening. Also, we recognize the young man that was also involved, who was the shooter. And that person is not, in my opinion, to be vilified or to be looked at as anything other than a lost soul. And I feel so sorry for people who allow themselves to get into such a level of violence and hatred. That speaks of someone, in my opinion, who is greatly suffering and was not taught what love means, was not taught the values of life to understand the preciousness of all of life. And so I pray for the shooter as much as I pray for the victims. That was a very young man lost in his ideology that was so dark. Anyway, Donald Trump, as I have been reporting, many videos about him, and I'll put those videos in the link in the description below. So this is the Bazi astrology of this time for Donald Trump. So for all of us, Saturday, July 13th at 6 o'clock p.m. Is a Yangwood Dragon year, a Yin Metal Sheep month, a Yang Earth Tiger day, and a Yin Metal Rooster hour. Now, if I were to be doing a rally, that would have been a great time. Why? Well, if you just break down the 4 pillars, the year is speaking of a lot of energy. The dragon is a leader, the leader who innovates and divines a new way of doing things, right? There's a very innovative, entrepreneurial aspect to the dragon. And then you have the day. And the day is that tiger that is independent and passionately engaged in something. And the two of them together, you remember when I did the story of 2024, the first part, And we started with the month of the tiger. The tiger and dragon together is a lot of energy. It's very forceful and very, there's a lot of just impetus to get it going. And then the hour is the rooster. This is where someone steps up on stage and opens their mouth and has something to say. Here I am. Now, when we layer that with this person's Bazi astrology, we start to see the combinations of what was happening for him that could have caused this event to happen. And why is it that he survived it as opposed to not? And what could have changed in the astrology? For instance, if this had been the day of a monkey, the month of a monkey, the hour of a monkey, we would have had a very different outcome. Why do I say that? In November, Donald Trump went through a luck cycle change, which is something we all go through every 10 years, depending on your birthday and time. Let me just pause here and say, to the best of my ability, I try to stay objective. These readings, yes, we are looking at big personalities and big public personas. These are big people. So when I am talking about any of these charts that I read, whether it's a celebrity or a politician, or someone like Julian Assange, right? I need you to understand that what I am doing is simply reading the chart. This is just me looking at the chart and sharing what my findings are with you. They are not motivated by a like, a dislike, or anything in between. That's really important you understand that. So if you have stopped on this video and are watching it, if it doesn't speak to you, keep going. But please keep your comments and questions positive and kind, because that is what our world needs so that we can avoid situations like an assassination attempt. It begins with you and I being kind to each other and appreciating that what I am giving you is simply an astrological evaluation of an event. It is not motivated by anything personal, okay? Just want to make sure that's very clear as we head into this election season and it intensifies, which it is going to do. And you can look at this video, you can look at all the videos I've done in 2024 about the election, and then go and look at some other videos from other astrologers, Western astrologers, Eastern astrologers. We're all saying basically the same thing. This is going to be intense, and this is just the beginning, really and truly. This, if you ask me, this is the beginning of the whole thing. And this is the week of the Republican National Convention. It all starts now. So in November, Donald Trump shifted into a new luck cycle. The one he had been in was the ox. He is born on the day of a sheep. The sheep and ox bang heads. This showed a time in his life full of conflict. And yeah, in the midst of conflict, he was president of the United States. Was that an easy run of 4 years for him? No. It was full of conflict. It was an all-out battle. And I don't know about you, I've had horrible situations where going into work felt like walking into a battlefield. And I'm imagining that's what it was like for him. Most of those days of those 10 years, he was fighting a fight. So then he comes into this current luck cycle, which is a yang water tiger. Now, Donald Trump is someone that doesn't have any water in his chart. And in fact, because his chart is so unique, you remember his 5 elements. Let's just do a little quickie review here. His 5 elements, he is a yin earth person. Yin earth like sand or the desert. He has a Jalbert chart because he has too much of the mother element, 42%. His own element of of earth is 53%. Most of his chart is all wrapped up in him and his world, right? Make America great again. That is his whole world. It is all about that and who supports him. That's it. That's his life. Everything else is beyond secondary. So here we have two elements that are not a part of that story because the tiger is yang wood. But that presence of yang wood showing up that hasn't been in his chart since he was a little boy. That yang wood is nourishing the fire. This is inflaming the chart. And I've said before, charts that have too much fire and earth are very hot and dry. He literally is like Tucson, Arizona in the summertime, or Austin, Texas in the summertime, right? It is very hot, and that is the condition for Cancer to grow. And I've seen this time and time again. All right, so his chart's got this great imbalance. The tiger has come in. The tiger creates a full fire trio in his chart and a semi-penalty with his hour of the snake, which is where his career is. This is what I've been talking about. Since November, all these lawsuits, whether he wins or loses, in the end, it's a loss. It's wearing him down. It's wearing him down. He can come on stage, just like you and I come onto the stage of our lives. And even if we're grieving, even if we're sick, even if we're in pain, we can show up and be strong people in our jobs. I don't know that he has stopped long enough to recognize where he is energetically with himself. And I'm concerned that he's going straight from an assassination attempt right into the Republican National Convention. I don't know about you, but that kind of feels like going from, a car accident, a really bad car accident, into jumping into something that is like, I don't know, some other great, like a big, huge thing where you're required to perform. This is someone that needs to rest and recuperate. It's a traumatic event that has psychological impact on anyone being shot at. So, this is what I'm seeing from July 13th. First of all, the rooster comes in and forms both a semi-traditional and a semi-seasonal metal trio. This is little shots of metal. Kind of like bullets, kind of like action, kind of like bursts of action. Remembering that this year of the dragon is battling his year of the dog, which isn't as bad as if the dog were his day. He's a sheep day, but that interaction shows movement. And this can be someone that is traveling, somebody physically moving, going from Trump Tower to Mar-a-Lago, right? Somebody that's going on different rallies, traveling, moving, lots of movement for him this year. And there is this undercurrent of conflict. Then you recognize that the day is a tiger. It is emphasizing his current luck cycle. Interesting that that happened on a tiger day. That is a penalty to his sovereignty. It is a penalty that can speak to death, loss of money, lawsuits, everything that's been going on in his life since November is inflamed. This is like a time of reckoning for him. There is loss of money. Even while he has campaign funds coming in, there is a lot going out. And there is risk to his very life force with all of this. Absolutely. The fact that this was a tiger day was dangerous for him. And like I said, if there had been a monkey involved in this Bazi astrology for Saturday, July 13th, he would have been in bigger trouble. Bigger trouble for sure. So that being said, look out for August. August begins on the 5th. August comes in with a monkey. The entire 4 weeks of August, and especially on a day or an astrological day that brings in additional snake, tiger, monkey into his chart, is very dangerous. His hour is the snake. So we're looking at someone who has a chart that is really questioning a lot that's happening. There is a real threat here. Now, the other thing I also wanted to mention is that the tiger, now we have two from that day and his current luck cycle. The tiger with the snake of his career weakens wood. Wood is the element that is his career. It is also his marriage to Melania. This is being weakened. It's eroding. As he enters into this luck cycle, this next 10 years is an erosion of his marriage and his career. Then add to that the hour that he got on that stage, the rooster, harms his dog, his year of the dog. That harm weakens earth, which is his element. He has been weakened by this. And like I said, even if he's putting on a show of strength, fight, 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 what an interesting thing for him to say right after being shot. And that earth element being harmed and weakened, we need to really see his health going forward from here. Because like I said, if any one of us had been shot at, I seriously doubt I would want to go to a convention and stand up on stage. And when he announces his vice presidential running mate, I will be looking that up to see the marriage between those two. Because a president and a vice president, their Bazi astrology is like a marriage. So I'll have more about that later. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, friends, be well and stay safe.